Yes, thank you, Rainer, for the great presentation. I saw some cards in this area, yes, and so I think it's quite interesting why BMW is interested in this topic, yes, and that you understand my role inside BMW. I'm a technology scout, and I'm not an expert in communication or whatever. My task is to bring new technologies into BMW, into a company, and also into the, I would say, into the industrial network, because you could imagine that's not a state from BMW to scale non-terrestrial network or 6G. I think, like your last slide, we have to go together, and that's the main reason. And I would like to give you a short glimpse how we came to the topic non-terrestrial network, yes. What was our last experience last week at the 5G AA? Yes, there we pushed the topic non-terrestrial network for automotive. And last but not least, why I'm interested to go further now with 6G. I will explain that a little bit on a high level area. But by the way, I think Rainer gives a very good comprehensive outlook to that. Okay. That was more or less my first public announcement that BMW will join non-terrestrial network at Luxembourg last year. Yes, there I had a pitch in the Europe, in the New Space Europe, and there I gave some motivation why BMW is now interested, and I would like to repeat some key messages for that. This is more or less our typical way to integrate new technology into BMW. Yes, you see, 2019 we discovered the topic. We know that orbital insights, that was after that low Earth orbit, after that non-terrestrial networks. Yes, it's always changing. And we decided there to make a demonstration case in our tech office in Mountain View together with OneWeb. You can Google BMW OneWeb Mountain View, you will see there a white paper. This gave us the chance to think about, okay, we from BMW, we have a connected car, and the connected car is only so good as we have connection, yes. And what happens if we go to rural areas, or I think that is not a secret. Also in the Munich area, we have some holes where we have no connectivity, yeah. And that was more or less the reason why we said, okay, it makes makes sense that we go a little bit deeper, yeah. And the little bit deeper, that's the reason for the technology report light. To cut a long story short, we checked out the technologies, the maturity grade of these technologies. We learn or we build up an ecosystem. We learned some partnerships. And last but not least, that was the basic fact that we could founded a community of practice inside BMW that is not a department. Yes, that is a loose community with some expert from connectivity, autonomous driving, etc. Yes, and so we going further with this point, and we pitched this topic to our board of directors. And they said, okay, guys, we could not ignore this topic. Yes, and that gave us the opportunity to establish more or less 4 working packages. The first one is, and that is really important for a company like BMW, we have to integrate this topic into our strategy. Imagine we have to define what we understand under premium connectivity in 2030. Yes, and that is really a challenge. We have not a crystal ball on our desk, but nevertheless, I think we have to do this topic. And the other one is, yes, I said BMW is not alone, and we could not scale this in any topic. We have to implement the antenna, the modems, the chipsets, blah, blah, blah. You know it very well. And so we decided, okay, we have to jump into the standardization at 3GPP and, of course, for the automotive guys at the 5G AA. Yeah. I think technologies, yes, that's a usual topic for BMW. We have to implement all these parts in our car, I think. And last but not least, we saw in the report that is a huge, big ecosystem which are built here, yes, in an NTN LEO ecosystem. And so we are not alone in this way. And so we decided, okay, we have an own partnership responsibility to manage all the relationships for that. Yes, and so I think we're going actually in these 4 working packages further, and some imaginations from use cases. Yes, I said to you, why it's interesting for BMW, because we have a connected car and there are many functionalities which need an internet connectivity. Yes, and so I think we identified more or less 2 main categories. The first one is the so-called narrowband or IoT. If you drive in BMW, you have an app on your phone. You can close and open the door. You can switch on your air condition. Interesting topic for today. Yes, and some other features. Yes, and these are typical narrowband activities. The other ones, for sure, not so trivial. These are broadband activities. We launched our actual 7 series at the CES. Yes, and there we have integrated a theater screen in the back. Yes, our partner for that is for the content is Amazon with Fire TV. And you can imagine we need here really a good connectivity. To be honest, I think that is a critical part for NTN. We analyzed all 5G AA use cases, yes, and so we saw also this one. Broadband activities are relatively critical regarding data throughput and the beam density, etc., etc. Nevertheless, I think we have now, from our point of view, 10 years to solve all these problems. And yes, that is a short information about, I would say, the main thinking is the standardization point. As I mentioned, we could not manage all these topics, and so we decided to go into the 5G AA. We would like to looking for partners on the OEM side and on the MNOs side, mobile network operator side. And so we launched a topic which is called NTN for Vehicle to X. Yes, we presented that in the front of the standardization group, and here you will see more or less the votings for that, and the NTN was the most voted topic for us. So we got the feedback, okay, it's very important, but in the discussion after that, we saw some critical points. I think that is totally clear for me regarding business cases. Yes, always. But nevertheless, I think we have formed a group of OEMs and mobile network operators which running for now a work item, and after this is a typical standardization process. At first the work item, then the study item, and then we'll discuss, yes, in that way. And so I think that was for us a good success. There joined BMW, Audi, Stellantis, Volkswagen, and some other mobile network operators. If you are interested, you can go on the 5G AA side and it will list. Yes, and now what will happen now with 6G? I think, honestly speaking, I say normally we would like to continue the work in 5G to 6G, yes? And so I think we identified this topic on our technology radar. We said, okay, we have to invest in 6G. We have to bring with us our requests or requirements into the topic. And for us as BMW is also very interesting 2 points. Rainer mentioned that. At first, that is the new topic or the new working group, joint communication and sensing. Yes, like the radar topic. We have to check what will happen with this topic on this side. And on the other side, that is more or less my personal feeling as I read all the papers, the recommendations from Rode and Schwarz. I think we are here now on a position of or a milestone of a new architecture in a car. That means for me, 6G will influence the so-called electronic architecture in a car. And so we have to invest, I think, in this area, which functionality will run on the car, which functionality will run on the edge, which functionality will run in the cloud, or wherever. Yes, and so I think, let me come to my conclusion. BMW decided to take part on the 6G activity. We are interested to bring our requirements, and actually we're running the topic for non-terrestrial networks. Yes, we build up a car, an NTN car together with other companies, and so thank you for your attention regarding my presentation, and if you have questions, connections, whatever, please contact me after my talk, and I'm happy to do that. Thank you.